Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to the show, where we take a look back at the most recent events from Powerslam Pro Wrestling. My name is Joe Cross, and today we'll be talking about the event that happened on February 9th at the PPW Arena and Training Center at the Newtown Mall in New Philadelphia, Ohio. Also, a couple things before we start. I'm going to be trying to do these more quickly, so I'm not going to go into as many details on the matches. If you want to see the matches as they play out, show up at the show, buy some tickets. And also, I will have a special announcement, but I'm saving it for the end of the show, because how else am I supposed to get you to watch this all the way through? So starting off, before the show started, we had a couple of pre-show matches. The first was the Rowdy Rebel Colton Quinn taking on Anthony, the Rockstar Rucker. Before the match could begin, Anthony delivered a massive kick to Colton Quinn's nether regions, but it was still not enough to keep Colton down, as he was able to emerge victorious. And our second pre-show of the match was a fatal four-way women's match. It was Danny Jax taking on Sebastian LaShawn versus the devil herself, Natalie May. And the fourth entrant was the fan favorite shooting star, Mars Cress. And she was able to secure a victory in this match by pinning Natalie May. And then we were on to our main show. The handsome announcer, so handsome, came out and ran his mouth for a little bit. And then it was on to our first match, which was for the PPW Anywhere Championship. And it was the Jimmy Jammer taking on the challenger, Mr. Crowley. There was a lot of back and forth between these two competitors, and even some magic tricks thrown in there by both men. But Jimmy Jammer was able to retain the PPW Anywhere Championship. After the match, the men showed good sportsmanship with a handshake, but it was interrupted by Drew, the werewolf starter, who tried to attack Crowley. But Jammer came in and made the save, and both men took off running, leaving Drew standing there very unsatisfied that he didn't get to potentially murder anyone. The next match was a tag team match, and it was RJ Jonesy teaming up with the Bouncer to take on Sean Resnick and Gideon Hayes. However, before the match could start, Sean Blaze came out and offered Gideon Hayes another chance to join the Syndicate, which he seemingly accepted because Resnick was left on his own. He wasn't on his own long, because Drew the Werewolf Starmer was back out and inserted himself directly into this tag team match. And I have to admit that Drew and Resnick are looking like a force to be reckoned with, but they had just one moment where they couldn't come together, and that allowed the veterans RJ Jonesy and the Bouncer to hit some tandem super kicks and pin Resnick for the win. Match 3 of the show was Brasi Suave and Dio Salvador, and they were taking on the Southern Sinner Colt Johnson and his mystery tag team partner, who seemed to be running a little bit late to the arena. This match was a majority of Colt Johnson getting beat up, but there was a couple times he really kicked it into high gear, and I actually thought he was going to win this match on his own. But the team aspect of it was in fact betraying him, until his partner finally arrived to the arena. It was none other than the returning bull rope bully Mike Michaels, who didn't even have time to put his gear on, just stormed the ring and finally evened the odds. The odds, however, did not stay in Colt and Michaels' favor for long, because Dios and Brasi had another plan, and that plan was to cheat. After Brasi was hit with a huge power slam from Michaels, Dios distracted the ref and delivered a low blow to the bully, allowing Brasi Suave to get the roll-up victory. After the match, Dios and Suave continued to beat on Colt Johnson and the bull rope bully Mike Michaels until New Philly Vice made the save, and after helping them out, they called the Syndicate to the ring, challenged them for the PP tag titles, and here we go. This match was great. At least it would have been great if it wasn't for Syndicate more cheating and eventually getting themselves disqualified by assaulting both members of New Philly Vice with the PPW Tag Team title belts. The Syndicate tried to continue attacking them after the match, but they were saved back, I guess, by the Southern Sinner Colt Johnson. So could the Sheriff Colt Johnson be making his way into the Vice? Only time will tell. And this next match also fired off to a really quick start. Let me turn this mic down a little bit. A very quick start. Sean Blaze, already out there with the Syndicate, was about to have his rematch for the PPW Heavyweight Championship against Nolan Bates, and the Syndicate was barred from ringside. And I'm going to be completely honest, this was much less of a wrestling match and much more of, how do I want to word this? A test of Sean Blaze's testicular fortitude. Let's just say, before this show, I had never heard the crowd chanting "wee wee." It was hilarious. Nolan was definitely doing everything he needed to do to defend his championship. But late in the match, he tried to suplex Blaze back into the ring, and Natalie May appeared from under the ring, grabbed Nolan's legs, allowing Blaze to come crashing down on him. And then Natalie once again held Nolan's legs so he could not kick out. So the 1-2-3 was final, and your new PPW Heavyweight Champion, once again, Sean Blaze, has brought that belt back into the Syndicate's possession. This was not the end of the story, however. If you haven't been paying attention to PPW recently, the boss has been talking about a brand split, a way to give Sydney what she's wanted all along, her own company. So when Brent came to the ring, he announced that the brand split was now going into full effect, and Brent will be in charge of PPW Black, with Sid taking over PPW Red. He also had another announcement, and that was he was appointing Nolan Bates his heavyweight champion for PPW Black, and brought out a brand new tag title to give him. And with that, that was the end of the show. But here is our special announcement. Like I said, the draft is in full swing, and if you check the PPW Facebook page, you'll see the picks as they are announced. I, however, in all of my awesomeness, have been given an inside scoop, and I have some draft picks to reveal right now, right here. So without further ado, a couple tag teams. Joining Sid over on PPW Red will be Dio Salvador and Brassy Suave. And joining the boss, Brent Scott, on PPW Black will be the Monsters, Sean Resnick and Drew the Werewolf Starner. Now I have a feeling both these tag teams have an awful lot to shake up on both of their respective shows. So I'm very excited. I'm hoping that you can make it out to the next show, which is going to be Sunday the 23rd. So we're hoping to see you there. I unfortunately will not be in attendance. I've got to work that day, so I'm not sure who's going to be announcing, but I'm sure they'll do a great job. And hopefully we'll be able to put together a recap video for you guys. So until next time, I'm Joe Cross, and thanks for watching this show.